Hey everybody, thank you for watching Yoga Sane. I'm Krista, and today we're going to be working on a pigeon pose, which I absolutely love this pose. It's so good on the hamstrings and the hips. It really helps with the lower back, and it's something that anyone can do, but it also can evolve into these beautiful advanced poses where you start working on balance and more of a total body workout. So we're going to start from the very beginnings today. We're really going to settle into this pose to get the most out of it. And also, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I have so many more videos to come, so much more content to come, and I'm really looking forward to growing this community. Let's go ahead and start in a cross-legged position, sitting up nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders, belly button in. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. And do that a couple more times. Deep breath in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale through the mouth, really pushing that old air out. Let's go ahead and open our legs up to the side and flex the feet. Nothing too much, just flex them a little bit, keeping the toes soft. Put your hands in front and sit up as tall as you can, and take those deep breaths. Relax the shoulders. And go ahead and practice pushing your tailbone out behind you just a little bit. Elongate the neck. Now on your next exhalation, I want you to hinge forward from the hips. Push the tailbone out and elongate the spine. Make sure you can still feel the stretch. It's very important to stay engaged. After a while, you may notice that maybe you can hinge from the hips a little bit more, keeping that neutral neck and spine. Go ahead and get some movement in there. Try not to stay stagnant. Continue pushing the tailbone out. Take those deep breaths. Maybe you can find you can walk the hands out a little bit. Press the hands into the mat to push the tailbone back even further. Continue flexing the feet softly and come right back up to that seated position. I want you to bend the right knee and place the right foot behind you, making sure the toes are pointing in. And then exhale as you hinge from the hips and lean over that left foot or left leg. Walk the hands out if you want a little bit more of a stretch. You don't have to bend very far if you don't want to. As long as you're getting that good stretch, that's all that matters. Elongate the spine as much as you can. Continue pushing the tailbone back. And let's slowly come on up. And then we're going to switch sides. So straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, make sure the toes are pointing inward. And you can fidget around, move around a little bit until you know you're comfortable. And then lean forward. Hinge from the hips. If you're not comfortable with the knee being bent behind you, you can always bend it in front as well. We're really just focusing on that right leg right now. Hinge from the hips, lean forward as much as you can. It might not be very far. And again, I'm getting some movements in here just because it feels better for me when I do it that way. Really push the tailbone back. Go ahead and slowly come on up. Go ahead and slowly come on up. And then come into a tabletop pose. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale down for cow. And then exhale up for cat. Really arch the back up, chin to chest, tailbone under. Inhale, tip the tailbone out. Open the chest up. Soft eyebrows. And then exhale up for cat. Push the back up. Inhale down, cow. And then let's scrunch over to the right and then scrunch over to the left. Maybe you can push your hips out from side to side. Really push the hip over to the right and then push the hips over to the left. Should feel really, really good. Now I want you to step that right foot in between both of your hands and then walk that left leg back a little bit. So you're in a runner's lunge here. Make sure that right knee is directly over the right ankle and it's not coming forward of it, the ankle. Hands under the shoulders, coming up on the fingertips. And then concentrate on just pushing the hips down. As you can see here, I'm kind of swaying from side to side. I love getting those little micro movements in. It really makes such a big difference. Go ahead and heel toe that right foot to the outside edge of the mat and then drop that right knee over, coming on the side of the right foot. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And here I am pushing my left hip down and then rocking back over to the right. Open up that knee and then I push the left hip flexor down again. This should feel good to you. Continue playing around. Heel toe the right foot back in, placing your hands on either side of the leg, and then straighten out that left leg for a full runner's lunge, just for a couple of seconds here. Push the hips down, enjoy this moment. And then drop to the left knee and walk the right foot, heel toe it to the outside left edge of the mat, and then drop that right leg down. This is called Pigeon pose. Hands under the shoulders, back, left foot is flat on the mat. And I want you to tuck the tailbone under and lift the ribs up as high as they can go. So you're elongating the spine. I'm leaning over to the right here, massaging out my right hamstring. And then I'm just gonna come forward a little bit, hinging from the hips. If this feels good to you, give it a shot. And then you can come all the way down to the mat on your elbows, or maybe cross your arms and rest your head on your hands. Let's come back up nice and slow. Something else that's a little bit more challenging, you do not have to do this today, is bending that left knee and trying to grab on with the left hand to open the chest. Lift the ribs up, continue elongating the spine, elongating the neck. Open the chest up, tuck the tailbone under. And then you can play around with that back foot. Maybe you can hug it in a little bit closer. See what that feels like. And then maybe extend it back out again. Loosening up those joints and muscles. Just play around. Something a little bit more challenging, maybe fun to try, is walking that right hand forward a little bit out in front of you. And practice pressing the hand not so much into the mat, so you can eventually lift that right hand up. Open the chest. Practice one center focus here to really help with your balance. And continue doing whatever you'd like to do. Go ahead and place your hands back onto the mat under the shoulders. And then let's step back into tabletop. And then let's lift that right leg up behind us. This should feel really good. I always like doing this after a pigeon pose. This or a three-legged dog. Just lifting that right leg up and allowing the blood flow to reverse a little bit. Point the foot, but keep the toe soft. And if you want to bend it back a little bit, you can try that. And then let's come back down to tabletop. Open the knees, touch the toes, melt the chest down for child's pose. Now that's a really deep stretch, so I want you to take a deep breath into the hips, as deep as you can. Allow the hips to grow and expand, and then exhale as you sink closer down to the mat. Continue taking those deep breaths. And slowly come back up to tabletop. Knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. Now let's set that left foot between our hands. Walk the right foot back a little bit for our runner's lunge. Push the hips down. Again, make sure the left knee is in line with the left ankle. Open the chest, elongate the spine. Jaw soft, eyebrows are relaxed. Go ahead and walk the left heel toe out towards the left edge of the mat. So both of your hands are under the shoulders on the inside of the left foot. And this is just going to change that hamstring stretch a little bit. It should feel good to you. And remember, you can move around and make it feel even better. Maybe drop that left knee out to the side a little bit. Lean over. Here I'm placing my left hand on my left knee and just kind of pushing it forward a little bit, not necessarily to the side, but just forward to help really elongate that left leg and stretch the hip even more. It feels absolutely amazing, like I should be paying somebody for this. And that's how I want you to feel. Push that right hip flexor down towards the floor. Maybe you can walk your hands out a little bit. Maybe come all the way down to the elbows. Push that right hip down. Lean over to the right a little bit. Open up the hips. Heel toe that left foot back in, hands on either side of the leg. Straighten that right leg out behind you for a full runner's lunge. Squeeze that right hamstring up to the sky. Push the hips down. Stay here for just a moment. And then drop back down to that right knee. And then we're going to heel toe that left foot to the right side of the mat, dropping to the left thigh. And think about the hips here as you push them down towards the mat. The back of the right foot is flat on the mat. Tuck the tailbone under and lift the ribs up as high as they can go. I like to open up my chest sometimes just because it feels so good. And remember, you can move around how it feels good to you. Start hinging forward from the hips, keeping the chest open. Walking the hands forward. Deep, deep breaths. And maybe you can hinge all the way down to the floor. You can rest on your elbows here, maybe stack the fists and rest your head on the fists. Cross the arms, resting your head on the arms, or maybe even walk the hands all the way out in front of you and rest the forehead all the way on the mat. I never really like to immediately go into my fullest expression of a pose, even if I can technically do it. I always like to work up to that moment, taking advantage of each step along the way. Let's slowly come back up. Hands under the shoulders. Elongate the spine as much as you can. And then just like before, maybe you can bend that right knee a little bit. Just try just a little bit. And if you'd like, you can grab onto that right foot with the right hand and think about opening up the chest. Keep the tailbone tucked under and the ribs high. That's going to provide you that solid foundation to keep the body strong and safe. Play around, maybe pushing that right foot down and then bringing it back out again. Find one centered focus, and then maybe practice lifting the left hand up. Keep the eyebrows soft and elongate the spine. Maybe you can place the right foot in the left elbow crease, kind of hold it there like a little nook. Reach the left arm up and over to clasp the hands. Now this should feel good. Continue playing around however you like. Try pressing your hands into the mat and push the hands into the mat to lift the chest up. Let's go ahead and curl the right toes under. push the hands into the mat to step that left leg back into a tabletop pose. And then let's lift that left leg up behind us to open that left hip. Again, reversing that blood flow. Point the foot, soften the toes. Slow the breath. And let's come back into tabletop. Open the knees up, touch the toes, in child's pose. Breathe into the hips. Just notice how different your hamstrings and hips feel now than they did before you practiced. Let's slowly come up to our forearms, shoulders over the elbows, and then open the knees up. Just slide them out. Doesn't have to be a lot, just slide them out. And then lean forward just a little bit to put more weight into your forearms. And then lean backward just a little bit. Bring full awareness to the hips. Lean forward. And then lean backward. If you just want to rest in child's pose, you can do that as well. Continue just moving back and forth here, going as fast or as slow as you like, as long as you have full awareness on the hips. Slowly bring the knees back in. And then let's straighten the legs out behind us, dropping our hips down to the mat. Elbows under the shoulders, hands are shoulder width apart. And I just want you to think about arching the back a little bit. Squeeze the glutes and try to push the hips down into the mat. The hip flexors, the inside of the hips. Place your hands under the shoulders, straighten the arms out for a full upward facing dog. Engage the glutes. Lift the chest high, arch the lower back, and raise the chin just slightly. Bring your chin to your chest. Lift the chin up. Squeeze the glutes, really push as much as you can. And then rock gently. Rock your hips from side to side just a little bit. Slowly come back up to tabletop and then to a cross-legged position. Place your wrists on your knees, sit up tall, breathe in, nice deep breath, and exhale out through the mouth. Deep breath in, exhale out through the mouth. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Place your hands to heart center, bring your chin in just a little bit. Sit up as tall as you can. Continue breathing. and fully appreciate this moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Namaste.